All right, everyone, what's up? I thought I'd do a quick video here, and I want to talk about weight loss versus weight mastery. Because one of the things that always happens to me, again, as a hypnotist who specializes in weight loss, is people always want to know, give me a quick tip or a quick trick. And it kind of is a symptom of the bigger problem, which is we all think about weight loss kind of in the short term, right? And so if you think about it, right in the name, weight loss, that's really just the phase of losing weight. But I'm going to guess that you want to keep the weight off, right? If you want to lose some weight, you don't just want to lose it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You'd like it to just be gone forever, right? But if you think about it, we're really just saying weight loss. And so what I would suggest you start doing, and the way you think about it, is to start thinking about weight mastery. Right off the bat, it sets you up for a different, it's a completely different thing. And it's going to lead you in a better direction. So I want to talk about a couple of the benefits of doing that. The first one is it's framed differently. And this is really important because for most people, they've tried to lose weight many, 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 many times. And that now when they think about losing weight, it's coded unconsciously as something that they fail at, that they can't do, right? If you've tried something 20 times, 100 times, and it hasn't worked, I mean, it's normal to create a belief that, well, I can't do it. And so when you start thinking about weight mastery, I think you're putting yourself in a much better position to succeed. And one of the metaphors I like to think of is, if you think about, if you ever had to like run a mile, right? I remember I used to have a gym class and we had the track. And so it's 4 times around the track. But it's kind of like say weight mastery is the 4 times around the track. But most people approach weight loss as if it's just the one lap around the track. They don't know it's 4. And so what happens is they run as hard as they can that first lap, and then they got no more energy for the next 3, right? And so this is a lot of times how I think of how people approach weight loss. They really are looking at it in a very short-sighted way. They're just focusing on the very beginning phase of it. And so they give their all. They're trying to restrict their eating really well. They're trying to work out, but they can only do it for a little while. And then they run out of steam. And then what happens? That you fall back in your old routine, your old behaviors. So weight mastery, almost think of it like going to college, right? So it's like, when you go, say you're going to get a 4-year degree, it's like there's a frame around that. You say, okay, I'm going to commit to this for 4 years. And at the end of the 4 years, I'm going to have this understanding, this body of knowledge and wisdom in my head. As opposed to if you went to school and it was just like, okay, I'm going to take classes. And if I don't get it, I'm done. And so you take the first, couple weeks of class and you're like, oh my God, this is hard. I don't understand what I'm doing. If you didn't have that bigger frame around it, that 4-year frame of understanding the bigger picture, most of us, we would have quit school, right? Because it's just hard. And why am I doing this, right? If we're just in the moment, right? And that leads to one other thing. When you don't have that bigger frame, that bigger picture understanding of what you're doing and what you're looking to achieve, then you start to make decisions based on how you feel in the moment. Okay. And so if you all of a sudden are starting to restrict your calories, right, which takes, you have less energy coming in. It takes more energy to actually do that. Right. So you're kind of tired and you're not getting the energy coming in. It's frustrating, right? You're not getting to enjoy things the way that you normally do. You're not dealing with your emotions the way you typically do. So they're kind of raging. And so all of a sudden, not only is it difficult, but you're kind of in a bad mood. And you're not thinking straight. And so it's really, really easy to quit in that scenario. So the alternative that's rarely talked about is to think about achieving weight mastery. Understanding, just like kind of in college, getting like a degree, there's different aspects to mastering your weight. But if you gave yourself a longer time frame and you said, okay, I'm going to master this, 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 and this, and then I will have it done forever. Again, just like when you go to school, if you, whatever, if you've gone to school, if you studied something, you finish the end of it and you understand it, you've mastered it to some degree, right? And you have that mastery, you have that foundation that you can utilize forever, right? And so that's how I want you to think about weight mastery. It's an easier process. It takes longer, I guess. But again, if we go back to the initial question, how long do you want to be at your ideal weight? Right? Again, it's almost always forever. And so, so let the initial goal be weight mastery. Give yourself more time, okay? Because again, that short-sightedness really is so much of the problem. In addition, when we're short-sighted, when we're just focused on the weight loss phase, it's very easy to choose extreme plans, right? So again, like, yeah, I mean, we've seen it, extreme calorie cutting. I mean, there's diets out there that are 500 calories a day. I mean, how long you be able to do that for? You know, not long. It's just not sustainable. So when you look for weight mastery, it's a completely different paradigm. And as you consistently work, now again, what I would suggest if you're serious about weight mastery, the plan that I use is you can go check it out. There's a presentation there which you can sign up for and watch, which will really give you all the pieces of it. But it's programyourselfthin.com, and you can see, you know, the specific pieces that I like to use. But I like to think of it as a lifestyle system. Okay, it's not just cutting calories. It's not just working out. It's really about creating these different components that give you a foundation of health. They manage your cravings. They manage your hunger so that you can make the right choices in an easier way. Again, you have less bad cravings coming up. You're craving healthier foods, and kind of top down, you have more energy and focus, so you can make the better choices. But again, there's a systematic way to go about that, so that you set yourself up for success. Once again, kind of referencing school, you start off with kind of that foundational knowledge, and then you build on top of that. And it's the same thing with the weight. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Because again, if we just do the weight loss, it's you know, it's like building a house from the roof down. You know, there's no foundation there. And I think if you start to build from the bottom up, you give yourself a firm foundation. And now, and then the last point I just want to make about this is, if you start to approach it this way and you give yourself some time, you know, give yourself a year, a couple years to really master this area of your life, which is so important to every other area of your life. If you start to look at it this way and you don't just need the most extreme things, you may find you have more motivation. Okay. Because it starts to feel like, yeah, that's a real plan. I think we all know on some level, these extreme diets, I think we know, not only have we failed with them a bunch of times, but I think we also know they just don't work, right? It rarely works just to cram for things, you know, and that's kind of what dieting is. And so all of a sudden, when you start to realize, okay, I'm going to give myself some time here. I'm going to work on developing these foundational habits so that they become automatic. I don't have to think about it anymore. And those foundational habits give me more energy, better focus, less cravings. And when we go about it that way, it feels right. Right? You start to realize, wow, this is how I've done other things in my life that I've succeeded with. That's kind of similar. I kind of started here. I learned how to walk, and then I learned how to run, and then I mastered it. Okay. And the same thing can happen with weight and your health. But a lot of times we just never think about that. We just kind of hit the, you know, you want to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour and just get the fastest results possible. But oftentimes it's a very short-sighted way of doing it. And I think a lot of times the results that people get really prove that. But the point I want to make is that it's not because there's something wrong with you. So it's not you're the problem, it's the strategy. All right. And so begin to think about weight mastery. How can you master your weight? And again, I think the secret really is creating a lifestyle system. And so if you want to go more into that, again, you can go to programyourselfthin.com. There's a free presentation you can watch there that'll take you through that. But again, start thinking about the long term, mastering it. And I'm going to give you permission here. Allow yourself a few minutes to think about what weight mastery would mean to you in your life. Like, what would it mean to be completely and totally in control of your weight, even if it took a year or two, right? Imagine you never had to worry about your weight again, right? How would that impact the quality of your life? And so spend a little bit of time thinking about that, because I'm going to assume it would be wonderful for you. Imagine never having to think about your weight or your health again. You know, again, you know what I mean by health, but when you have this foundation, you know, the typical things, you have more energy, you're slimmer, your blood works better, you know, everything improves when your lifestyle becomes healthier. All right. So think about all that stuff. Again, if you want to go deeper with it, go to Program Yourself Thin and sign up for that training, and I'll see you next time.